Now let's start our experiment. And first, this is our instrument, and this one is the Kg2 to reactor with the chromium layer, and this one is Kg10 to reactor with the nickel layer. Okay, later we will read the date from this computer for the thickness, for the thickness and the potential difference. Okay, now our workers will first fix our well nuts on the instrument. Then we will put the Kg2 to react with the chromium layer. And when the Kg2 reaches the nickel layer, the first chemical reaction will be finished. Okay, now let's start the chemical reaction. Can you see there's a line moved very smoothly? This means the first chemical reaction has been finished. And when the line has an upwards, this means the first chemical reaction has been finished. And the whole experiment will cost us about 10 more minutes. But if you choose the well nuts from other manufacturers, the whole experiment will only cost about 3 to 4 minutes. That's because our thickness is very thick and our potential difference is controlled very well. Okay, now we see the first chemical reaction has been finished because the line has upwards, and now we can read the date. Can you see the thickness is 0.52 millimeter, and this one is the thickness for the chromium layer. Okay, now we will start the second chemical reaction. We first will use the distilled water to wash the instrument. And when we finish the washing, we will put the Kg10 to react with the nickel layer. And just like I introduced to you, the nickel layer has 3 layers: the bright nickel layer, the semi-bright nickel layer, and high sulfur nickel layer. So this chemical reaction will have 3 times. Okay, now we start the second chemical reaction. Okay, now we see the line has moved very smoothly. This means the second chemical reaction has been finished. Okay, we should be more patient because usually we use 3 methods to testing the thickness of the layer and the potential difference. That is the NSS test. The NSS test, the name is the natural source free test, and the CSS test and the CASS test. These 3 tests will cost us about several days or even 100 hours. This will waste us a lot of time and energy. So if you just use our instrument, it costs us about 10 more minutes, and we can read the date to see the thickness and the potential difference is up to standard or not. If not, we can remake the well-lock nuts and the well-lock bolts. And later I will show you our standard for the thickness and the potential difference. Okay, now we see the line has moved very smoothly, and this means now the Kg10 has reacted with the bright nickel layer, and later when the line has upwards, this means the Kg10 has reached the semi-bright nickel layer. And later we can see whether this well-lock nut is up to standard or not. Okay, now we see the line has upwards. This means the first chemical reaction has been finished and the second chemical layer has begun. The Kg10 now reached the semi-bright nickel layer. And you know, the chromium is usually for decrimination and the nickel layer is usually for production. So the nickel layer thickness is usually more important for the whole produce our well-lock nuts. The surface is not very easy to rest or peel off. And many customers told me that they didn't understand the potential difference very well. And you know, the potential difference can make our surface more firmer and more stronger, and it can delay our crashing time. So control the potential difference is also very important, like I just explained it for you. Control the potential difference where it's just like our 10 fingers to fix with together. This means to make out of our hands is not very easy. And if you didn't control the potential difference very well, it's just like 2 hands to put with together. And 2 hands to put with together, it is very easy to make out of them. So control the potential difference where is very important for the whole electroplating. That can make our surface not very easy to rest and easy to peel off. Okay, you see now the line has upwards and moved very smoothly, and later the second chemical layer will be finished, and we can read the date and type it, and to see whether it's up to standard or not. And usually the standard for the potential difference is 120 to 180, and later we can see whether the potential difference is up to standard or not. And the potential difference is usually very important for the whole electroplating. It can make our surface not very easy to rest and not very easy to peel off. It can delay our crashing time, and you can use the wear-lock nuts and the wear-lock bolts for a very long time. This one will be very helpful for the whole purchase when you for the whole progress when you purchase the wear-lock nuts and the wear-lock bolts, even from our factory or other manufacturers. So you see, if we need the good quality for the electroplating, we should make the thickness more thick, and the potential difference should up to standard. Okay, now the whole second chemical reaction has been finished. Now we can read the date. Our workers is now choose the date. We first choose the lowest point and the highest point to see the thickness. And we can see this computer. The whole thickness is 40.8 millimeter. And the CMOS bright nickel layer thickness is 25.2 millimeter. And the bright nickel layer thickness is 15.6 millimeter. And the whole thickness is 42.1 millimeter. And later we can read the standard. Okay, now we will read the potential difference. It is 177.29. And just like I say, the standard is 120 to 180. So this one is up to our standard. Okay, now the whole experiment has been finished, and our workers will pick up of the wear-lock nuts and show it to you. Could you see? There's a small little hole on the top of the wear-lock nuts. Can you see there's a small little hole? And when we use our fingers to touch with it, we will feel there's a small little hole. This means we rarely do this experiment just now, to testing the thickness and the potential difference. Okay, now this is the whole progress for our experiment.